Hello and welcome to today's devotion for Friday, the 12th of February. If you've been to my house, you will know that I have a beautiful view out of my study window. It is a real joy and an inspiration, and it's always changing. At the moment, it's covered in snow. And because it's not snowing at the moment and the sun's out, I can see quite a way. Sunshine and snow is quite a beautiful combination. However, if I try to take a photo of this view, it just doesn't do it justice. So much detail is missing. With my camera, I can't really capture or even begin to capture the grandeur of it or the depth of it, if that makes sense. And I think that today's Bible reading is a bit like that. And what I mean is that when you read the two verses from Luke's Gospel that are set for today, they can seem to be a bit stark. They present a picture of Jesus which at first reading can feel a bit uncomfortable. And the verses, well, see what you think. It's from Luke chapter 8 verses 19 to 21. Now Jesus' mother and brothers came to see him, but they were not able to get near him because of the crowd. Someone told him, "Your mother and brothers are standing outside wanting to see you." He replied, "My mother and brothers are those who hear God's word and put it into practice." In a way, those verses can read as if Jesus is snubbing his mother and his brothers. They have taken the time to come along and to see Jesus, and it seems as if he is rejecting them, practically disowning them. And you could imagine them feeling quite hurt by Jesus's response. In these days of being separated from family because of the pandemic, it might seem even starker when we each long to be with our own families but are unable to spend time with them, which is hard. It's one of those stories that I've always felt a bit uncomfortable with when I've come across it, and it can also be found in Matthew and Mark as well. But when you pause and reflect on it and try and add in a bit of the detail and to get some depth to the story, then you can start to appreciate a bit more what is going on. I think that Jesus' mother and brothers are concerned about him. Here in Luke's Gospel, we're not told why they come to see him, but we get a bit more detail in Mark's Gospel, where we're told in chapter 3, verses 20 to 21. Again, a crowd gathered so that Jesus and his disciples were not even able to eat. When his family heard about this, they went to take charge of him, for they said he's out of his mind. So they come out of concern for Jesus. But because of the crowd, it's going to be impossible for them to have any sort of private conversation with Jesus. Whatever Jesus says in response to his family's request to see him, it's going to be heard by everyone. And as well as attracting great crowds, we know that Jesus is already attracting opposition. And his family, when you come to think about it, are being quite brave in being prepared to put themselves into the spotlight to come and see whether Jesus is okay and needs their help. And Jesus' response deflects the crowd's attention away from his family, thereby averting any possible danger to them. In seeming to discount them, he takes attention away from them, and nothing more is said about them at that point. So rather than rejecting them, Jesus is protecting his family. And knowing all that we do about Jesus, it's highly unlikely that he would want to reject his family or to upset them needlessly. Elsewhere, we can find evidence that his family remained loyal to him. And through his teaching, we know that family was important to Jesus. In what he says, Jesus is telling his family that he's not out of his mind, but he is listening to God and doing God's will. And that will be a reassuring message to them. And as well, in Jesus' words, there is a wonderful message of encouragement to all who hear them, including us today, an invitation to each of us to be part of Jesus' family. Jesus says, "My family are those who hear God's word and put it into practice." So pondering those verses and adding that depth to them. Have a good day and God bless.